All right, so in the third and final game of the series, the A's did unfortunately lose. They still took 2 out of 3, so they won the series against the Rockies, but they did lose in the final game. In a game that they still hit well, but they couldn't really bring runs in necessarily. So that was a problem. James Caprillion was the starter, obviously a young new starter for the A's. He didn't pitch terribly, but they did lose. And then their offense didn't really back up their pitching. Raimel Tapia scored an RBI single for the Rockies, and that made it 1-0 in the third inning. So that was the first run of the game. Brendan Rodgers played Blackman on a kind of like a sac fly to Canna, and Blackman came in to score. So it was 2-0 Colorado. The A's did get on the board in the sixth inning, made it 2-1 after Sean Murphy. He got an RBI double, just shy of a home run. That very well could have, tied the game up, but no, didn't. And so that was an RBI double. However, the Rockies kind of got an insurance run with Dom Nunez, an RBI that brought in McMahon, and Yusmeiro Petit was pitching at this moment, and he's usually pretty strong. And it was he did pretty well, but the Rockies got runners on base, and it was a sac fly. And Daniel Bard got the save for Colorado in the ninth inning. So the A's were really close. They had runners on second in like 2 different innings, but they couldn't bring them in, and thus they lost 3-1. And, they're still 35-26, which is pretty good. But, like I said last game, we just got to keep winning games. So, I'm happy we won 2 out of 3, but we just, it snaps our 4-game win streak, which is a little bit annoying. And we're playing the D-backs for the next 2 games, which I expect to be pretty easy, compared to like the Astros or a team like that. But, the Astros are right behind us, so we just got to be careful. But I'm happy we won 2 out of 3. And our hitting was pretty good. It's just we got to bring our runners in. That's super important. So, I think if we can do that more consistently, like these last 2 games, then we'll have a lot more success. Looking at the pitching, Caprillion, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Not terrible. I'll cut him some slack because, the offense was pretty slow. And he's a newer pitcher. But yeah, the offense just couldn't really bring much in. The bullpen was pretty good. Petit was the only guy that in the bullpen that surrendered any runs. Sergio Romo and Diekman were pretty lights out, but they only pitched an inning apiece. But yeah, the A's best hitter probably would have been Elvis Andrus, actually, or Sean Murphy. Andrus had 2 hits. Murphy had an RBI, that double. That was just shy of a homer. For Colorado, they had good games from Ryan McMahon, Josh Fuentes, Tapia, Blackman. They all had pretty good games. So yeah, their pitcher was Herman Marquez. He was 4 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts, and 1 earned run. So they had good starting pitching. I think if the A's could have tackled the starting pitching a lot more for Colorado more, they probably would have been a lot more successful. But yeah, it is what it is. I'll take 2 games out of 3, and they only out hit us by 1. So it was a pretty equal game in terms of hitting. The Rockies were just really good at bringing guys in. They had those sac flies, 2 of them, and then they obviously had the single. The A's could have won this game had they done that. They were very, very, very close. There were a lot of moments where I was on the tip of my seat and, strikeout or, ground out when they had guys on second or even guys on third. So, it's pretty, disappointing that we couldn't do that. That's happened at multiple games in this season. But yeah, final score 3-1. We'll play our next series, a short one against the D-backs. 3-1 final score. A's moved to 35-26. So let me know your thoughts, and go A's.